Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to a video called 10 Tiny Things That Annoy Finns. I don't know any Finnish people, but I think they're pretty chill in general. I think that's what I've heard. So I think you have to be pretty annoying to annoy a Finnish person, but maybe I'm wrong. I guess we'll find out. So let's check it out and comment, like and subscribe.
Moi! Welcome to another new video. In this video I'm going to show you 10 tiny things that annoy Finnish people. Now I want to talk about these things because it's most likely that you wouldn't know that Finn in question is annoyed because we rarely show expressive faces in Finland. So sometimes it happens that we do correct you, but most likely you won't be ever confronted about these tiny mishaps. So let's go to the list. My name is Varpu and I'm the founder of Her Finland. I help you get to know Finnish culture and lifestyle and also the language. If you're here for the first time, make sure to subscribe to my channel. So let's go. Firstly, let's talk about sauna. You should never leave the sauna door open, nor you should do this. So when you go into the sauna and you throw the water, you should never leave immediately after it. You should sit and enjoy or try to suffer the steam that comes out of that water bucket. So you never leave after you just throw some water.
I think that would be rude, right? I'm doing something that I don't know if people here want this, but I'm gonna do it anyway and I'm gonna leave. I think that sounds rude. I think that's, you know, common concept, I think. Well, I don't know, it's a social rule, I would guess.
If you say to a Finn, we should meet sometimes or we should hang out, Finns take this very literally. So you should be prepared to actually follow up and have that planned in your calendar. Good. Another thing that makes Finnish people annoyed is making noise. This is true to any public transport vehicle. When you are commuting, it's often enjoyed silently together, this communal, peaceful, silent train trip. Not making noises also applies when you are living in apartment building. Finnish apartment buildings are very, very silent places. Have you been in a university classroom in Finland or have you been in a public...
Because I think there's a lot of places in Europe that have sort of a very, very strict, I think, noise laws. So it's not as much as again, it's a social rule, a social costume. No, it's an actual rule, as in you're calling the police.
Transport vehicle in Finland. You will see this very weird seating game going on. So the point is, nobody wants to sit next to each other, and it's quite funny. The normal way, when you enter a vehicle, for example, you will try to find a separate seating that is quite remote from everybody else, so that everybody is scarcely populating the vehicle. Only when it comes full, you are sitting next to each other. Next, I have two things that you actually might be corrected. So, if you say that Finland is a Scandinavian country, most likely you will be corrected that no, Finland is a Nordic country. Another thing Finns are very passionate about is that...
I go back to that because I don't think I'm aware of the difference between Scandinavia and I can't. That's no. I don't know what difference is.
Santa lives in Finland. Santa lives in Lapland, not in North Pole, not in Greenland, not in anywhere else except Finland.
It's Lapland.
My next point is quite normal in many countries, but there's a Finnish twist to it. So you should never ask anybody's salary in Finland, but in Finland, unlike in most places, you can actually find this out by yourself.
That's crazy.
You just need to call the tax office and say the person's name and place, and they will tell you how much they had income on the previous year. For this next one, I'm really excited to know if this is true to your culture. So I have noticed that in Finland, you can criticize your own village or town, but you get annoyed when somebody else who doesn't live there makes those same remarks about it. So let me know in the comment if this is true to your culture. Can you criticize only your own home,
Of course.
village or town, or can you criticize it?
That's a given.
This
No.
next one shouldn't be no surprise to you, as Finns love coffee. But it is a shock if there's no coffee left for a Finnish person. In workplaces, it's very popular to have some kind of system that makes sure that
there's
everybody
always
gets
coffee.
their daily dose of caffeine.
Love
There
that.
aren't many people in Finland, as Finland is such a small country, and for Finnish people, a crowd is already 2 people. This is quite visible when Finnish people are referring to traffic jams or horrible queues. It might just be that there are 2 people in front of you, but we are already annoyed by this fact. Haha,
Oh, really?
here comes bonus. So it's food related. There are typical food combos in Finland, and if we miss out on the other one, it is a problem and we get annoyed. For example, if we are grilling a sausage, then we would be upset if we forget the mustard. Here is my list of 10 things that annoy Finnish people. I would love to know if any of these things is true to you. Let me know which thing annoys you the most in the comments and let's have a discussion. And if you want to know more weird things that Finnish people do, you should check out this video next. My.
That's really funny. I think it's annoyed. I'm annoyed. There are several things, but I think it's really funny. The one specifically about, you get annoyed whenever you can criticize, I think your own region, your own state, your own country, your own society, your own culture. It's the thing about you can criticize it because you're part of it, but anyone, dares, and you can criticize and talk, the worst things. Oh, we are the worst. These people are the worst. I hate this city, whatever it is, it's fine. But the minute someone else, an outsider comes and starts to say anything remotely, it doesn't have to be as bad as what you're saying. It could be a mild criticism. Oh no, you step on a line. I think it's really funny because I think that's a universal concept. I think some people do not really care about this, but I think a lot of people you would find in a lot of places, and I think again it's a commonality about being humans in the world. Is usually that's where you will find anyone from that place. It's game. Oh, it's game. Yeah, them game for criticizing this. People are the worst. They suck. I hate them. But the minute someone else comes, no. We're all going to band together to defend, to defend our city, to defend our town, to defend our culture, whatever it is. Because I think you, as an outsider, you can't really criticize how other people live. But if you live there, it's, sure, I can criticize, I can criticize all I want. Because, you feel this, I think it's coming from a place maybe of love, of, you care about this because it's your own city or it's your own thing. And again, you feel it because, it's mine and you feel it as yours. However, again, someone comes along and is criticizing, I think maybe it's not necessarily as they come from, they're not coming from a place of hate. Maybe they're just giving you mild feedback or criticism. But again, no, it's not allowed because it has to come from a place of a lot of love as well. I think, the worst kind of criticisms probably come from someone that really loves you. So I think that ultimately that probably applies to regions and cultures as well. So that's really funny that, apparently Finnish people do that. But I think it's just a really universal thing about everyone doing this and gets, everyone getting annoyed when anyone sort of dare to come at me. No, I think it's similar to, I know when siblings, I think, people fight with their siblings all the time and you can have really, awful discussions, awful fights. But, the minute someone comes for your sibling, you're, no, wait, what? You're going to defend them to the death. So I think that's ultimately what's happening here. The other, I think there's a lot of interesting things. It's really funny, the sausage with the mustard. I think that's a really, because I don't know what kind of sausages they have in Finland, but I think it's as a hot dog or, as a barbecue, I do not know. But I think usually, again, I think that's entirely, regional. It's just going to depend on so many things. But usually I think the most common, I would dare to say, is that you have the sausage with the mustard. I think usually, although I know some cities do it different and it's just, and of course, no accounting for taste. Some people maybe no, do not put mustard on my sausage. But ultimately, I think, the most common, if I'm talking average, sort of normal, I think it's going to be the mustard and the sausage. So apparently in Finland, that's really common as well. But it's really, I think what's really just dawned on me, that most of these things, even though, and she mentioned it, I think it's really, it has to come from, a video like this. You're not going to find out because people are not, Finns are not going to be, oh, they're going to roll their eyes or be, oh, this sucks, or, oh, I ran out of mustard. Oh, no, they're not going to tell you anything. And that's something separate, maybe, oh, they ran out of coffee. And if the office, I'm imagining, a situation in which, you're in an office, you're with your coworkers, then, oh, someone forgot to buy the coffee and it was their turn because apparently they have a system. And, people are going to be, well, oh, I think most people will be, well, it's fine. And you would sort of, you would grim and bear it, and you'd be, obviously, I think probably in the back of your mind, you're so annoyed by this thing, but you're probably just, well, sure. Or you could be, again, depending on how confrontational you are, sometimes you can be, you know what, hey, it was your turn. And again, you're not going to fight this person, but you're going to speak up, and you're going to be, hey, you know what, not cool because it was your turn. Now, we're out of coffee. But it's funny that, no, they're apparently, the Finns are so little. I know there's, that confrontation just does not happen. And they're not even going to, sometimes, again, it's just, the passive aggressive thing. Sometimes when you're annoyed and no, it's fine. But, it's not fine because you don't want to create a whole thing. I think, again, it's really funny that happens, I think, across a lot of cultures, and just a lot of people do this. But apparently Finns do not, and it's not, no, they're going to, again, grim and bear it. They're not going to tell you anything, and there's not going to be an even mild eye roll or just a sigh of, no, it's not going to be anything like that. It's going to be, oh, okay, they're probably not even going to mention it, which I think it's wild. I don't know if they mention it though. Probably they do mention it, but it's just I don't know. It's just a little comment. But I think it's funny. But I love the fact that they love their coffee. They're after my heart. I want to go to Finland and try some Finnish coffee because they must they love their coffee. They must have really good coffee. The other, I think it's funny that how they're so proud about Santa, which I think it's really, again, it's lovely. I also want to go to Lapland and meet Santa. I guess you can go there, right? He doesn't relocate, he lives there, so I can go in, I don't know, March, and I can meet Santa. Hopefully he's going to be there, given the fact that that's his permanent residence. I did not know, apparently they had a little bit of a, maybe not a fight, because I wouldn't call it a fight, but maybe a little discussion, I think, with other countries, as in, I don't know, the whole, now I'm scared. I don't want to say Scandinavia. I don't want to say Nordic. I don't know what I should put, what I'm supposed to say. I don't want to offend anyone. But I think they're probably, again, there's a little bit of a friction there between other similar countries that are located in that part of Europe, as in Sweden and probably, I don't know, Denmark. I think it's Greenland as well, probably Iceland, although I've never heard of Santa living in Iceland, but who knows? Maybe they're also reclaiming Santa. I don't know who claims Santa, but I think apparently Finnish people are they're proud about Santa lives here. He doesn't really live anywhere else. In our neighboring countries, he lives here in this specific region, which I love. I think it's lovely that, okay, apparently I don't want to offend anyone. Santa lives in Lapland. Okay, good to know. He only visits other countries. And of course, the whole thing about do not call them, it's a whole thing. I am guilty of this. I'm sorry. Sometimes I'd probably say, oh, it's Scandinavia, and I'm also saying Finland, but apparently that's wrong. But they're not. Apparently it's good. They're going to correct you. Again, you're not coming from a place of, oh, I'm hating on anyone, or I want to be particularly offensive and I want to annoy you. No, but it's good. Apparently they're gonna let you know, probably in a very polite way, but they'll let you know, hey, no, it's not a part of us. It's a separate thing. Scandinavia is this, and Nordic countries are those. I don't really understand the difference, but apparently there's a cultural difference. There's some sort of difference. So good to know. I think sometimes you're gonna make the mistake. I know I'm gonna, I now know this, but probably I'm gonna make the mistake in the future. But it's good to know that unless, on the specific circumstances, Finns are gonna let you know, hey, no, it's not like that, and they're going to correct you, which super welcome, thank you. It's really until you actually, they're gonna drill this into you until eventually, it sort of clicks, and then you go, oh, of course, I'm not gonna refer to them as this. So, good to know. And of course, the personal space, I think it's really funny. I love, the whole sort of situation in the bus, or maybe, in the subway or something, in which you have, there's one person there, and one person there, and one person here. And it starts to be, I imagine a little bit of a Mexican standoff of, do not sit here, but obviously you don't want to say anything, but you're communicating, sort of with your brain. Do not sit right next to me. And the person, it's, the person that's getting into, I don't know, the wagon or something. it's going to be, oh no, which is going to be, I'm sorry, someone has to sacrifice themselves. I have to sit right next to someone. So I think it would be quite funny. They should probably make an ad about this, probably already exists, about, that particular element of Finnish culture. But actually, I do like the idea of, everything, they all have their own personal space. I love that. I think it's just, because being crowded, who likes being crowded? I think it's just nice to have your own separate space, and especially I think in public transportation, which sometimes can be so incredibly crowded, and it's kind of, you're in your own space. I love that. So yeah, maybe we should all move to Finland. But yeah, that was an amazing list, and I feel like I actually learned a lot. That was it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye!